happiness, whatever it is. I think the truly happy person is a person who is doing things that are of value to him and that make a difference in other people's lives.
Absolutely, and I can't agree more. And I see people all the time that come in. They're so stressed, and they're on the hamster wheel. You know, they've got this go, push, and they don't know where they're going. They really don't have that purpose-filled life, and they're, I think we all want to be part of something bigger than ourselves, and we want to be part of some type of movement that gives us more meaning. And I've read Viktor Frankl's book and Man's Search for Meaning. It's an incredible book. You see a guy that was in the worst conditions known to man, and you think that the person would come out of that. Not many people walked out of the concentration camps, and he said the people that kept their mind and kept their purpose and kept a realistic attitude survived, and it's incredible. I won't give away the story, because if you get a chance to read that book, Man's Search for Meaning, go buy that book. It's incredible. But I think you're right. People that are the happiest are the ones that I think get together like people that are on this call, that people that get together on a regular basis, whether it's a church or a synagogue or some place that they can get together with people of like mind and just raise everybody else up, because when you get that energy, and it's really the energy of the heart and caring for other people.
Right.
They say that a rising tide raises all ships, and so when you get around these people of like mind, it really everything changes, especially when you get around people that have that common purpose. I think that Margaret Mead said it right, that never underestimate a small group of like-minded people, because that can change the world. In fact, that's the only thing that ever has changed the world. Right.
Absolutely. Thanks for sharing that. And really, what does it have to do with the endocrine system? Well, it has everything to do with the endocrine system. Everything. Because remember our whole picture. I mean, if your mind is at peace, well, that translates to the brain, it translates to the endocrine system, translates to the immune system. It kind of gets things in balance. It gets things in alignment once you are involved in those things that are meaningful to you. It does things for you that nothing else can, be it a super drug, a super supplement, or a super duper amount of money. It does things for you that nothing else can. And so we're putting together studies to help people really find out what they're doing for them, how to find their purpose and find meaning in life. And I like this quote too from Braveheart. Everyone dies, but not everyone truly lives. Okay, well, I'm done. Thanks, Dr. Steve. Do we have any questions on this?
Yes, there are a couple of questions. Let me see. At the beginning, you talked about melatonin, and somebody was wondering if, like, some people sleep with their TVs on at night, and they're wondering if that affects your melatonin.
Absolutely. Turn it off. You don't even you don't need to be having the TV on more than 2 hours a day, folks. Really, that's really bad news. There's studies that have been going on, and they show that excessive TV watching actually does damage to your body. It diminishes, it raises your stress levels, affects your immune system. Dr. Steve, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, not only is the electromagnetic field not good for our systems, our immune systems, and so on, but when you start disrupting sleep patterns, I do this for a couple of reasons. I say get the TV out of the bedroom, because then you're going to get into the habit of, oh, now it's time to watch TV. Plus, you're going to be laying in weird postures, propping your head up. That's not good for your neck or your spine. So get it out. Yeah, turn it off. You don't need that TV.
Yeah, you really don't. You really don't. Besides, the light coming from the TV affects your melatonin secretion too.
Somebody was asking to see the PNI slide again, but also a question about chromium. What does chromium do for diabetics? Please repeat. Did you mention something about that?
Yeah, I did. One of the things that we know is that chromium helps in the formation of insulin, and also, hang on, let me just make sure I got the slide right. Okay, there you go. It makes the formation of insulin and also helps insulin to work better. All right, probably should go back to that slide again.
Yeah, that chromium is the glucose tolerance factor. Chromium, insulin will not work without chromium being present.
Right, right.
And Dr. Steve, we've had a few people asking for the names of those books again. If you could type them in the chat box and send them to everybody, that'd be great.
Well, I was trying to find that. And so I think I'm not sure if I lost my chat box because I was looking through and I couldn't find it. I was trying to go to the oh, there it is. Okay, got it.
And if there's a little drop-down arrow, and you can do send to the entire audience.
Got it. Okay, I'll do it.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, I was going to say this real quick. Again, think of this as just a quarter or a fifth of a cell. A cell is a really round thing. Insulin has to, for glucose, for the cell taking glucose, which is vital for energy in the cell. For the cell taking glucose, insulin has to act on the receptors. What insulin does is it latches onto the receptor and then makes the receptor able to receive glucose into the cell. We have and I think it was in our fat loss, or was it 1 or 2, that we actually showed pictures of how this whole thing works. You can get the handouts from that. So insulin kind of latches on and makes the cell taking glucose. Well, chromium, you can't see chromium, but it has the chromium and insulin that will help prepare the receptor to receive glucose into the cell.
Is chromium something everybody should be taking?
It's advisable because they found out that most people or most diets are deficient in chromium. So yes, it is absolutely advisable to take. It's because the mineral, you don't want to just take a separate chromium supplement. You want to take a multivitamin that has good amounts of chromium and the other nutrients and vitamins and minerals that we're lacking in a food-based matrix. Please remember that, a food-based matrix. You don't want those multivitamins that are synthesized in the lab. In other words, they take this chemical and take that chemical and then bind them together and hopefully it's going to work. Those notoriously are not as well absorbed in your digestive tract as if it were in a food-based matrix. Some juices actually attain to that, and some pills actually attain that, but there are very few, and they are more expensive than what you would find at your local store, for instance.
Is there chromium in brewer's yeast?
Dr. Steve?
I believe there is. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Also, could you show us the slide again that shows the list of the symptoms of hormonal imbalance? The symptoms of imbalance. Thank you.
I'll have to find that. Okay, well, why don't we go on to something else while we're looking at that?
Also, you keep mentioning the vitamins need to be in a food-based matrix. How do we know if your vitamin is in a food-based matrix?
Because the company is going to tell you. If the company doesn't tell you it's a food-based matrix, well, then you automatically you X that and you keep looking for a company that tells you it's in a food-based matrix. When you find a company that tells you, then you can begin to research to find out if it is actually true what they are saying. And so Steve, how do we confirm that this is food-based matrix? I mean, how do you?
Yeah, like I always I'm asking people all the time, what are they taking? Where is it coming from? And what's the quality control? Is it a GMP, good manufacturing practice, company that follows those rules of GMPs? Is it standardized? Those are all questions that you need to ask, because if it's not, following good manufacturing practices. A lot of these companies fall short of that, and they just say, oh, we're good enough, or we don't have to do that. The law doesn't say we have to right now. Well, I'd stay away from those guys. Standardization, that's very rare these days, especially with multivitamins, and because some crops are pretty good, and if they don't have them in a standardized form, then you're going to find there's going to be variation in the concentration and the levels, and that's the biggest problem. One of the biggest problems in the vitamin nutrition industry is that these people will say there's this on the label, and when you actually go to test it, it's not. And the FDA is going to start coming down pretty quick. And if the company is not up to standards in terms of good manufacturing practices, they're going to be gone.
Right. And folks, one of the things I want to be careful about saying this. I'm going to say this before. I'll say this first. If you are invited to these webinars by